All right, do we got some taglines?
We do. Calling all cars. We got some taglines.
I hate it. Now we can never use that on a different cop episode.
I feel like we will.
Yeah.
It's all reused, like recycled jokes anyway for us. Yes, we do have some taglines. Here we go. One kid's fantasy, one cop's nightmare.
That is borderline pedophilia, I think. Like reverse pedophilia? Is that a thing?
I don't exactly like. I'm like, there could be a lot of nightmares for a cop.
Yeah.
Like,
and why is the kid like, woo, I love drug busts. That's my fantasy.
like being assigned to Baltimore is a nightmare enough for a cop.
Like, whoa.
One kid's fantasy. Yay.
You're in Florida. The kid's like, I love Florida. And the cop's like, I hate Florida. No.
With a budget of $14 million, a USA gross of $31 million, but a worldwide gross of $40. So this is technically a financial success.
Yeah.
With one mob murder, one car to foot chase, 2 on-foot chases, 1 bar fight, 2 punches to the groin, 1 boat chase, 2 men covered in fish guts, and 1 off-screen death. With a 3.9 on IMDb, it's 1993's Cop and a Half. Let's drop some bombs.
Time to put the pedal to the metal, as I believe the saying goes.
Go, Gadget, oil slick.
Eat 'em up, eat 'em up!
Go, go! Come on, you son of a bitch. Is that all you got, huh? Come on, let's see what else you can do. You talking to me? Huh? Are you nuts? Come at me.
You're not being nice.
Fuck you!
This is the best time I've ever had in my entire life. Do you hear me, world? My entire life.
Welcome to Bombs Away, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth and the funny Yelp of movies. Bad movies. I'm Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
The Half. Jared Seifert.
Yes, Jared is
That's a good
now about 3.9 inches, just like the IMDb score.
I'm not going to make a joke on that. I was like, some things are too much.
Oh, that was good. You're like, oh, spot on.
I will say it is not that small. But that's all I'm going to go for. Bye.
And for those of you who are expecting Dr. Detroit, we apologize. We felt that with the untimely, timely, 82.
I mean, any death is untimely.
Yeah, I guess so, right? The unfortunate passing
Yes.
of a legend, I will say. I will definitely say a legend. We decided that just like our previous episodes with John Hurd and Margot Kidder, that we should honor somebody who has just passed. So, sorry for anybody who's expecting Dr. Detroit. There's like one like prostitute out there, like
sex worker.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, it'd be prostitute in the 80s.
Yeah, but we're not 80.
Yeah.
Ziz.
Yeah.
Ziz.
If there's one 60-year-old prostitute out there from the 80s who is expecting
Sex
Dr.
worker.
Detroit. No, current people would
I'm
be
still
sex
going to say
it. We will do Dr. Detroit in the future, I promise. But today, we are talking about 1993's Cop and a Half, starring the legendary Burt Reynolds.
That's
That's the film, not Burt.
Wait. That film, this whole film.
Oh, okay. So, before we get into the film, I just wanted to, in pure fashion of what we do, when it comes to the passing of an actor or anybody who has had some sort of involvement in the films that we've done or film that we're currently doing, I just want to kind of take a look back at their career and talk about things that have really made them who they are in Hollywood and what they've given us in their career. So when it comes to Burt Reynolds, I have very fond memories of this actor and what he did. Like even prior to my birthing back in '83.
Ew.
Birthing, I know. This man was a legend. Like he came up in high school as a football star.
I can see it.
Yep, and in college, huge. Like he was going to go on pro.
So this whole cop thing makes sense.
Yeah. Right.
But then he tore his ACL.
How can I be a bully? Yes. Got into a car accident and also tore his knee. Or was it ACL? Maybe. But either way, had basically two physical injuries that it was like, sorry, buddy, you're out. Like nobody's gonna sign you. Right? Yep. And then went to New York, cause he was like, I guess I'll try to be an actor. And then he was on Broadway or like off Broadway for something. Somebody saw him and was like, you're going to be good for commercials. And then he started starring in very like made for television Westerns. And then everything just started blowing up for him. And, but it wasn't really until like, so he was one of those things like, I mean, did you look back at any photographs?
Because
you'd be like,
oh, I know he's handsome based on what he had.
Did you see the Cosmo spread?
I think I've seen it before.
Literally spread?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's him like on the floor.
Maybe? Yes, on a bearskin rug. It's like if you've seen the Deadpool, like it's a parody of that. Yeah. That was for Cosmopolitan. Something that he regrets.
Oh.
Or yeah, he regretted doing that. Because so I guess I got to put it out there. There's some amazing milestones in his career. One being Deliverance, right? A lot of people remember Deliverance. You know, Squeal Like a Pig, Backwoods. You know,
what's that thing? The bang 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 bang.
Yep, bang 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 bang. Yep.
Is Deliverance the one where the guy falls in a pit and a spike goes through his leg, or am I thinking of something that was made a lot sooner?
Because basically Deliverance is like the original Wrong Turn, but with like ass fucking.
There's ass fucking in Deliverance?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like there's backwoods people that are gonna fuck you in the ass and then like, yes.
I don't see a downside. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, because they're preying on like very 70s fears of like,
wait,
you're
so
a straight
70s
male.
Film?
Yeah, 73.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something that happened in like the 90s, and it was a movie like,
it's like Wrong Turn.
Plane. Well, there was a plane, and then some birds fly into the propellers and like hit the windshield, and then they get lost in the woods, and there's like people trying to survive, but then like someone trying to kill someone else. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
It was really good, but it scared me as a kid.
Okay. Now,
also birds terrify me.
And I don't mean to, because like, I will be the first to admit that there's like, I know Burt Reynolds, but still there's iconic films that I didn't watch until this week, honestly, like as I was doing my research. So like when I ask you like, what's your fondest memory or like what film, like do you have anything like, and it's okay.
Not really.
Because,
no. He was never on my radar.
Okay. So
I'm not gonna lie. Someone posted a picture of him and was like R.I.P. and it was the first thing I saw, and I was like, oh no! And I thought it was.
You thought it was Tom Selleck.
Yeah, I did think it was Tom Selleck because it was like a mustache and handsome and like dark hair. And I was like, Tom Selleck, and then I was like, oh, never mind.
Because there's a joke meme going out there that is like the picture of Sean Connery, but like it's rest in peace Magnum PI, which is Tom Selleck. Like, you'll always be a living legend.
That's so bad.
Yeah, like, and then Burt Reynolds. Like,
it's so bad. But it's true. They all look so similar and have that same kind of, like, brute man with facial hair.
Right. Like, that would also, like, full chest hair.
Yeah.
Just chest hair that's, like, looks like an overgrown, like, mortuary.
But they are also,
like, everywhere.
That's, like...
But that's also me. So.
Gross. Yucky.
So... with Deliverance, then there was some other ones. Now, something, and it's one of his most iconic roles, and it's something I just, like, I don't know. You either were, like, for me, I don't know, one guy being chased by the cops with like classic cars and like the cops just crash into everything the whole movie was not appealing to me, even as a child.
Same.
Right?
Cop movies, I'm always just like, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to catch the bad guy.
It's Dukes of Hazzard, just like the good old boys, right? And that's how he kind of got reinvented after the Westerns. Like in the 80s, you had films such as Cannonball Run and the Smokey and the Bandit series. Now, both of them were just car movies where it was like Cannonball Run was like a whole bunch of people trying to like race across the country illegally. Yeah. Right? And then Smokey and the Bandit.
Didn't they remake that?
Cannonball Run?
Yeah.
Kind of with Rat Race.
Oh.
Remember Rat Race?
Yeah, I remember that
But Rat
one.
Race is just kind of more of a remake of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing where it's like you have this amount of time to get across the country in whatever means necessary, you know, and win the prize. And same thing with Cannonball Run, but Cannonball Run is actually just a fictionalized tale of the Gunball Rally. So it's just like, all right, cool, right? But there's comedy placed in. And then Smokey and the Bandit is like, here's a guy who's really good at getting shit across the border, and the whole plot is like, apparently it was illegal to like bring like out of state beer, like Coors, because they're taking Coors across the country, from like Texas to Georgia.
Okay.
Right? And they're being chased by the same lawman who is like Sally Field is a woman who leaves her husband at the altar, and the sheriff happens to be the father of the husband, or like the future husband, right? And so he's chasing her, who is now hitchhiked with the bandit. So like now, throughout the whole movie, right? And it's fun, it's comical. I just experienced this movie. I recommend it to anybody who's never seen. Like, it actually was a lot more fun than I would ever have given it credit for. Yeah, like you look at Burt Reynolds, which will actually go into what this film, right? You look at Burt Reynolds and you were like, this guy was fucking fun. Yeah. Like, everything he did, you were just like, you're cool, you're suave, you're fun. You've got this sick ass, like, Trans Am that, like, actually boosted Trans Am sales by 300% when that movie came out. Dang. Right? I think that movie came out in 78, and the 77 Trans Am, the gold trim and everything, boosted by 300%. Yeah. That, and the fact that they actually just came out with a new Trans Am. And this is kind of adorable. Like, this was last year. Yeah. They had him come back in, and they made like a same color, same everything, but his signature, Burt Reynolds, like on the side of every single one that was produced in limited edition. Yeah. And also embroidered signature in the leather of the seats. Like, it was gorgeous, right? So you have this man like that. Now, there's a film that I also remember called Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. It's a musical with him and Dolly Parton. And in that film, he plays the sheriff of a place in Texas in which there's a little, pretty much legal, but like legal in a way of like you just don't talk about it. Yeah. Whorehouse. Yeah. Run by Dolly Parton, right? And then the conservatives in the town, all backed by this guy who, like, I don't know, runs a conservative television show, very Rush Limbaugh, right? Wants to expose the chicken ranch, is what it's called, and get it shut down, right? Yeah. So it's him and his battle to try to like basically stop him from doing that, but also he's in love with Dolly Parton and her character. And this is, you know, the Whitney Houston song "I Will Always Love You"? Yeah. That's where it came from, this musical. Oh, cute. Right? Yeah. And she sings, and this is like if you listen to it, yes. And if you listen to it now, she's singing it to Burt. Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, like if somebody did not actually or will not play this at his funeral, that's unfortunate, because like this is, and he just does a good job. Dolly sings it live. He's an amazing comedic actor, right? Yeah. And then had a horrible lull in his, like, after the 80s. In 1993. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because what happened is that he became an actor in which he was more known for his tabloid escapades, right? So he got a little rough outside of the
yeah.
screen, and then he got married to Lonnie Anderson, and then they had a very public
Gay marriage?
What?
Lonnie? Isn't that a dude?
No, yeah.
Okay.
And had a very public and shaky divorce, and he was more known for like what's he going to do in the tabloids. And it's actually rumored that Princess Diana wrote him a letter thanking him for every time that he would do something that kept her out of the tabloids for a little bit. So it's like really interesting, right? So you have this person that like went through all that, right? And then in that time period between this and 1996, he made Cop and a Half, which we're going to get to. Give me a second.
It's a long story.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm just going through his retrospective because like he's a man who through all that happened, right? And like he's hit so many milestones and roller coasters and then like could not get work for a while. And then another movie in which I tried to pick which one we were going to do. It's this or Striptease. Now, Striptease with Demi Moore is historically awful. Right? But it was his comeback role as like a senator in that film that like stood out between everything. And that's what led to Boogie Nights. You know Boogie Nights, though, right?
I know, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what got him like this one little arc. And the point I want to make here in all of this is there's a film that he made. Probably it's like his last film, right? And it's a self-aware, fictionalized version he's playing of pretty much himself, right? It's called The Last Movie Star, and I watched it this week, right? I don't normally tear up or cry.
Oh.
And it wasn't really because he died.
Yeah.
Right? It was everything else that was happening in this film, right? He is playing a fictionalized version of himself that basically is invited to a film festival, right? He's in his old age, and he's invited to a film festival in which they say, hey, Robert De Niro, not Chevy Chase is in the film, sorry. Robert De Niro and, other Clint Eastwood and other prestigious actors have accepted this Lifetime Achievement Award. Please come and accept this award. And he's like, okay. And then when he gets there, he's picked up by a girl in like a beat up, like just destroyed Buick, and the film festival is actually at a local bar, and he's like, what the fuck? I thought Clint Eastwood and Robert De Niro, and he's like, yeah, they were like given the award, but they never showed up to pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing. And so he goes on this self-reflection thing of like people are asking him questions, and while it's not the question that, you know, it's not real life where they're like, in the film they go, hey, you were given the opportunity to do Serpico with Al Pacino, but you turned it down, and then somebody wound up winning an award for that. Like, any perspective on that? And that happened to him just on different films, like many in his life. So this was this very sad take on being like, hey, you had this opportunity, and you could have done this film, and you picked this instead, right?
Yeah.
Including what we're going to do today, right? That the whole film is him looking back on that, and then also looking back on the life that he left in Nashville, like including like his first wife and things like that for stardom, and how he left everybody behind. And it is so incredibly touching and so sad. And to know that this was his last film before he died, everybody watch it. Like, fucking watch it. I didn't really spoil anything. I swear to you. But if you're out there and you're wanting to really look at somebody who was, I guess what, he died, he was 82 this week, so he did it last year when he was already 80 at least. Yeah. It's amazing. And it's on Amazon Prime. I recommend it. So, right before he got his like old age spurt, he was about 56 years old, and he did today's movie, which is Cop and a Half. I'd say there's only about, well, no, you say it. You tell, what is your perspective? You texted me the other night.
Oh, I was
because
like,
I thought it was after I actually rewatched it, because I haven't seen this since I was a kid, and I don't think I really even sat through it. Right? You said,
I was like, I'm exhausted and I don't have enough effort to do anything, which is probably exactly what Burt Reynolds was thinking with this movie.
The whole movie.
I was just like, everyone was like, okay, I guess the next scene.
Yeah. Okay, so. Even the first scene that I see him in, right? They actually give him like a classic like Chevy SS, right? Where I'm like, okay, it's a little nod to like all the other classic cars he's driven, right? But even in the first scene that he's in, he's like, I'm not getting out of this car. I'm just going to chase you down the car. And I was like, is this going to be the whole movie where he's just in a car? Like, he just didn't want to get out of the seat?
Well, then he's also like, don't scuff the wax on my car. I just waxed it. And it's like, okay, but you just threw handcuffs across your car, too. So can you figure out how you want to treat your car?
There's a lot going on. But, I mean, for me... It's called Cop and a Half, but I don't even feel like half the effort was there on anyone's part, honestly.
I mean, it's basically the typical story of like one cop is stubborn and then he's got to do something that pushes his boundaries, and it's just...
So, historically speaking, Kindergarten Cop was made in 1990. Okay? This was supposed to... Originally, the script was for the sequel.
Oh.
Right? Could you imagine? Also, Kurt Russell turned down this role.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where how many people to get to before Burt was like, well, you know, I need to pay alimony.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, right. So this was the last film that Henry Winkler directed. Henry Winkler, also the Fonz, right? Or for those who are like, I don't know who the Fonz is. He's the lawyer on Arrested Development. How about that? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to give like people who don't know history a little bit more perspective lately.
I thought you said the last film he directed as in like he died.
No, he just gave up
and
after
I was like,
this.
wait, how did he do a TV show after that? I was like, my brain like totally just skipped out on that one.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fonz from Happy Days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he directed this.
Happy Days.
And this was the last film that he did. He did a couple television shows after that.
He directed the TV series Clueless. That's terrible.
You're right. There's no other major...
And Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Yes!
Only 2 episodes.
I don't care.
But, no, this is the only major motion picture that he ever directed, so it's the first and last major motion picture. And you can tell why. Right from the beginning,
no.
the opening title sequence is just like letters on black.
Yeah.
The whole thing, right? To an Alan Silvestri score, actually. So you're like, oh, there might be hope. But no, this is like early Silvestri.
It was very like, do.
Well, that's all Silvestri.
Yeah. It was like, okay, am I watching like what? Like, oh gosh, what is that Adam Sandler one?
Which one?
They all have those kind of soundtracks.
Right.
But I'm thinking of Goes Back to School because he's dumb.
Oh, Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Like, this is a perky kid doing perky things. Yeah.
I was like, oh God.
Right? So, yeah, it's just, it's not even also about the Kindergarten Cop connection because it is a sequel. Even the poster is almost identical.
Yeah.
Like, I think in Kindergarten Cop, it's the kindergarten is written in like Crayola, right? And then Cop. This one is Cop, but then and a half is Crayola. So you're just like, okay.
All right.
Like, we get it. So, the first shot of the movie is just like binoculars on a playground. And I was like, oh no, too real.
I legit just forgot how all the movie was until you said that. And I was like, that's where we're at. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's basically, for some reason, well, it's like a kid playing cops and robbers, and then one kid is like trying to catch the other one, and he goes on his walkie-talkie, and he's like, I've got a view on him. And
a walkie-talkie that looks like tape measures?
Yeah, tape measures, and they're like super chrome, but he's like, I'm going in. And then you just hear, you're never going to catch me. Like, oh, you're just talking to the guy you're trying to catch.
I don't know in what world that they play cops and robbers in which the cops communicate with the robbers via radio.
I know. I was like, oh, God.
Especially because this kid watches like Miami Vice and all the crime shows and stuff. I'm like,
just to hunt him.
Right? This kid is extremely intelligent for 8 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Like, extremely smart.
Yeah. He can pick up on things fast.
Witty, quippy, right? So I'm like, and he is really, really down into the very much the minute details of cop role play.
Yeah.
So in this moment, I'm like, wrong. What?
Yeah.
You'll never get me. Come back. What? Oh, you'll never get me, copper. That's right.
So
remember the call signs.
Yeah. Don't forget that. That's all
Don't
we've got
forget
going
copper.
for us.
Right? And talk like it's 1920. See?
1920s voice code. So eventually, like, he does chase the other kid into the school.
And then he runs into the bathroom where that kid is, and that kid already got, like, apprehended by the bullies.
I thought it was a different kid that got apprehended by the bullies. And the other kid just kind of, like, disappeared.
So, okay. Because his best friend is, like, Mexican Fred Savage.
Yeah. It really is.
I thought that was the kid, and when they saw him, they're like, oh, let's get him instead?
I thought it was just a random kid that they were pulling, like,
okay.
They were trying to get his money from.
This film, I'm going to say it right now, is very, like, for me, it was all about, like, establishing things that I was like, I never got anything prior to this, so I don't know what's going on, or, like, how this happened, a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be, like, I don't know, bad guys that didn't know that they were there now just came out of nowhere with guns drawn, like they had already heard something. Yeah. Like that happens. There's many times. So in this scenario, we could be getting it wrong, guys.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
It doesn't really matter. Like, this is not even, here we go. Here's my W's. Don't watch this. Yeah. Show's over.
Yeah. He gives, the bullies give him.
Go watch Boogie Nights instead.
Yeah, really.
That's a real
watch
comeback.
A good movie instead for once.
That's a good movie, actually.
So he gets a swirly and then he goes outside and the principal's like, hey, why are you all wet? You sprayed me in the crotch with the squirt gun. Come on. And the kid, like, it's the classic stupid trope that I always hate. Like, these kids gave me a swirly. Why are you mad at me? And he's like, stop being just terrible as a child. And it's like, what are you gonna, you literally, also, okay, sorry. This kid is what, 11? And then his bullies, he's 8.
Right.
Okay. His bullies look
15.
Yeah. I was like, is the grade school attached to a high school?
I don't understand this school.
I don't
either.
either.
Because there's no chaperones other than this principal that happens to, like, run into him. Yeah. Right? As evidenced by 2 full-on henchman criminals able to chase down an entire schoolyard worth of kids and nobody calls the cops or even, like, comes out to be like, what's going on here? Like, this is a school, I think, like Lord of the Flies style. Yeah. Like, it's just run by the kids.
We're a really progressive school. We don't believe in teachers or grades.
Or teaching. They're just out in the play yard learning, you know, the rules of the streets. Yeah. Like...
And everyone makes fun of everyone. Even the ugly kid makes fun of the normal-looking children.
Right?
Like, shut up. What's wrong with you, kid? You're only going to be that side character for the rest of your life of, like, yeah, Jimmy sucks. Haha, laugh at Jimmy. Like, that's...
boom, 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 boom. Moving on. So, Devin is our character's name.
Yeah.
And Devin... like we said, he is obsessed with police work and things like that. And Devin happens to be going home. Does he witness? He witnesses Nick do his first apprehension, right?
Yeah, it's Devin and his friend.
Right, so he hears on the radio because apparently he can get police broadcast on his little toy radio.
No.
But only in this scene, like I don't really see it.
It would have been easier if it was like, oh, a cop drove by. Like, do that. Like,
no, wait, no, he doesn't get he hears the police siren and immediately is like, oh, it's like, a code 3. I'm like, how do you even, I don't know what codes are now and I'm 35 years old. Yeah. Like, never once have I seen CSI and been like, wow, code 3, here we go.
The code V is for vomit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Code brown. And
no.
That's when you need to take a shit.
Code. Uh-oh. That's when I already shit, but I didn't get to the toilet.
Code. Huh.
Yeah.
Code.
Code. Oh, no. We all know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Code
like...
10-2? Number 2?
Oh. So they like find the cop chasing these bad guys. Mm-hmm. Somehow one of them's not in the car.
Okay, so this is another thing where... Why is there this trope, and this happens all the time, where, like, detectives somehow get to use their own super awesome sports car in movies?
I just flashed over and I was like, imagine me as a detective using my own car, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you, and it's like a Prius that's like almost broken down.
It doesn't even make noise.
It's like, and I'm like, I'm coming up behind you with really great efficient gas mileage. Yeah. Except it'll be like, I'll be at a stop sign and it's like, because it's like trying to shut off, but it's so old.
Click, 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 click.
It's such a stupid car. I love it so much. Yeah.
Get in! I'll run.
I don't, like, why were they on foot?
Okay, don't know. Because we're in the middle of this chase.
Because then like a car appears out of nowhere and picks up one guy.
Right.
Were they doing a drug deal in a park? Also, why are there drugs like...
I don't know, but these are actually...
It's meth, right?
These
are
are
blue
all
rocks.
It's cocaine is the final thing that they're actually dealing.
They were blue rocks.
Were they?
Yeah, they were blue rocks and like plastic clear bullets.
So it's meth?
I assume so.
I don't know, but it is definitely the henchmen that are with us the whole movie.
Yeah.
That are dressed like they're like Night at the Roxbury. It's literally like a maroon vest and a blue vest, and
it's like a quirky thing where it's like, and our bad guys are going to be 70s blues and jazz themed, and then like our hero is going to be washed up and like, I'm too tired of this shit.
Super washed up though, like as if they were like commenting on Burt's life at the moment, right?
Well, so
like I said, he's 56 making this film.
Yeah. So he's chasing these bad guys through a park, I guess. And he's like, you can't see Burt, but you like hear from him like, I'm not getting out of this car.
Yeah, because
don't make me run. I hate running.
He has
I'll never get out of this car.
A loudspeaker installed in his Chevy SS, right?
Yeah.
He has a little bulb on top, the magnet bulb
it's a
that
Chevy.
you put. It's a Chevelle. It's a Chevelle.
It's a Chevy. Chevy.
Sisses? Oh, you drive a sisses?
Yeah.
And we are done.
So thanks for joining us this episode of Bounds Away. We'll catch you next week with...
welcome to Amateur Hour.
Yeah. We're done.
Guys, that's all we got.
Yeah.
We lasted a year. We did the live show. We're good. We're done. We're just fucking done.
We hit our goals. That's about it.
Right? You didn't have any long-term? Long-term was to survive.
What if we legit ended an episode and we're just like, we just didn't care. And then we just shut it off at 30 minutes and people are like, that's weird.
Was that a shorty?
Yeah.
It's shorter than the shorties.
What's happening? Yeah. How did they manage that? That's almost impossible for those two.
Oh my god.
They talk about everything but the movie when they hate the movie.
Well, it's an awful tribute to Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
It's like, it started off
Poor
really
Burt.
strong.
All of a sudden it's like, Burt's back as a zombie. He's super angry at someone and he just keeps saying, bombs away.
But
we're like, what? Does he have PTSD? What's happening? How is he back to life?
it's so funny too, because that's another thing is like Burt as at least in his later career in this film too, it's like Burt just seems like an angry old bastard.
Yeah.
Right? But like everybody, including on that last film, is like the sweetest man who would like literally like go out of his way to like walk up to you even when he could not walk and be like, how's your day going? Like like it's just like wow, the Burt on screen versus Burt in real life is just the funniest thing, like to me, the dichotomy there. Also historically, the only person that like was on Johnny Carson and was invited to literally come back the next night and just do it again because Johnny Carson had so much fun with it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. What a cool dude.
Back to something that's not a cool dude.
Is the last movie star.
Yeah.
Like when you really think about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like somebody who's like survived the classic era and still was considered like, wow, that is like stardom. You know, nowadays it's just like.
Famous people pop out of our butts left and right. Yeah. That's how babies are born, right? They pop out of butts.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, yes.
God, I'm glad I got that right.
No, so be careful next time you dive in.
Butt babies.
Yeah. It is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was told about it. Like, I was told you can't just do anal and get away with it. You like it'll happen still. It'll creep
really, in general, it's just a shitty situation.
Moving on.
Yeah, it sounds like that too after. Yeah. Anyway, back to a city situation.
Moving on.
So then, like, Burt basically like levels one dude and starts chasing the other.
we're like 3 minutes in the
Yeah.
film, by the way.
And then, like, the bad guy's car comes and picks up one of the henchmen. The other henchman, like, starts jumping fences, and Burt's like, I don't jump, I don't run. Gets back in his car and just starts driving through yards.
This is where I already identify with what you sent me, where I was just like, he's like, I don't run, I don't, oh God. And he
I
steps
don't
in like,
jump.
steps in
And he,
like dog shit.
Yeah, like right off the bat. I'm like, whoops.
And I was like, oh, this is our
Yeah.
life. Like, I just don't, I can't do this anymore.
I'm
Like,
too tired.
This is how I felt for like the past month.
Yes. And so then eventually, he apprehends the guy and he's like, these are your drugs. And the guy's like, no, they're not. And he's like, get in my car. He handcuffs him in the front and then like doesn't put him in his car. He just like zip ties him to the door handle and then makes the guy
Yes.
walk next to him.
And is already like peeling out at what looks to be like 40 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. The guy's like, Bert.
Burt.
Because I can't remember his character's
Nick.
name.
But
Okay.
yeah. He's like, Nick, don't do this!
Yeah, but he already knows the guy's name.
Right.
Which I was like,
because
have you been in and out a few times?
it's more than likely a situation where he keeps chasing down these guys and he
Yeah.
can't tag them with anything.
Yeah.
Like you can't pin them on anything. And he's probably trying to find their boss
Yeah.
and just can't.
So
right?
then,
But this is all
Yeah.
stuff that like we need to kind of just assume and go along with. It's never like their relationship isn't very well defined. And no relationships are well defined in this film, including like his like what seems to be his black partner, but also isn't his black partner.
Yeah.
Right? The other detective.
But then that's all forgotten about because, by the way, we're talking about a different detective
That is-
halfway through the movie that's like some goofy white guy.
That tells him the story of his actual partner that died.
Oh, I must have not paid attention.
Yep. He's like, look, he never gets close to anybody because his partner 8 years ago died on a drug bust. Right? And part of you's like, okay, is that going to come back? And like literally the final bad guy is going to be like, I killed your partner.
Yeah.
Nope. It's only to tell the kid that he's not getting close to him because of that. Or maybe because he's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Right? And the fact that like there's a line in here that the guy refers to so basically, guys, we're going to go all over the place here.
Yeah.
But the plot of the movie is kid witnesses a murder.
Yeah.
And then wants to basically quid pro the cops. And
Quid pro quo.
right.
You go quid pro. The old quid pro.
Yeah. And is like, I'll tell you the information of what I saw and who murdered him if you let me like, ride along with you and be a cop. Right?
Yeah.
That's the plot of the movie, right? But there's a line in there where he's like, kid, why you want to be a cop? Like, look at this guy. Like, he's like bad back, bad marriage, bad life, right? And I'm like, oh no, this guy's just been like through everything.
Yeah.
Like it has nothing to do with this like dead partner that comes like, I kid you not,
He's
an
just
hour
tired.
10 into the
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It took a while to get to a lot of points in the film.
yes.
So basically, like,
Oh, also he hit in when he was trying to apprehend that guy and ran through the fence, he like opened his driver's side door and hit the guy, and there's a full-on body dent on that same cut, and then it literally comes over to that scene, and that door is fine,
God. Continuity.
right? And also, but just like in Smokey and the Bandit, where they run through an entire like bleachers section of a baseball
And, like,
field,
no damage to the
no
car.
damage to the
Yeah.
car. Same here. Runs through like multiple fences, wooden backyard fences. Nothing.
Yeah. Those
Absolutely
support
nothing.
posts would probably stop you from doing that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so he does apprehend the guy, and then basically it shows the kid go home, and he talks with his grandma, and he only lives with his grandma. We don't know what happened to his parents.
Nor
at
does
some
it
point.
matter.
Yeah. His grandma's a nurse, and she goes into work, and then he,
So
the little kid sees...
he sees the car
Yeah,
that he saw earlier that picked up those people, right?
yeah.
He has a license plate, and because I was going to ask you this, but now that I think about it, because like I'm like, why don't you just use the license plate? Because it would just lead back to the same guys that he has nothing on. I
Yeah.
remember that.
The henchman.
What?
The henchman.
Yeah, like they don't mean anything. They're trying to catch the balls,
Yeah.
right? So he actually winds up somehow on bicycle
Following them to
that car all the way.
shipyard.
Okay, what? I was waiting to ask you this, right? So the main bad guy, who is Vinnie Fontaine, right? What is happening here?
He constantly sings like doo-wop songs or jazz songs. I don't know the difference.
He's just...
And then he's also wearing like zoot suit. No, he's not wearing zoot suits.
No, he's
just wearing like 70s fashion.
I don't know, because like he kind of like wants to be Elvis in a way.
Yeah.
Right? But he's wearing like 70s zoot jacket, but then bolo ties.
Yeah.
Right? Which bolo ties are always a good thing for our show. But then also there's one scene where he's in his own sound booth because he wants to be
a singer,
a musician.
I don't know. But he actually doesn't sound great.
No, he doesn't. But then also but he's got music out.
Yeah.
But what seems like nobody really knows who he is, like in the outside world. But bad guys seem to think he's like famous.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I love all your work. I'm dying to hear like more. And you're like, what? But then he's also like, his
he's
sense
also
of
like
fashion.
A neat freak too.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I hate germs. Don't come near me. And it's like, okay, shut up. I was gonna kill you myself, but too messy.
And then he's like wearing like a Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat robe at one point. But then he's also he's got a weird sense of like interior decoration, because like one time it's like it looks like a leather barbershop, but then his other office looks like a tiki room.
Yeah.
But then he also has a sound booth. Like, nothing makes any sense.
And all the drugs they're smuggling are through instruments.
Yeah. At first I was going to question that, but I'm like, well, he's a music guy.
Yeah,
So, and
like,
at that point,
connects.
once the instruments were introduced, which is like in the last 10 minutes of the film, I stopped questioning things like that. But
I stopped questioning a lot earlier.
all of this is in one person and one character persona, right? But he's got 4 henchmen that are straight up like 90s mob henchmen, right? Like with their suits, and they're like, hey boss, and you're just like, what is happening?
It's, oh my God.
What is happening? And then he's the one to complain, like where he's like, can I stop doing things in a warehouse? And you're like, well, then stop doing things in a warehouse. But then also, so basically the guy who Nick did arrest, right, is there, and they're like, you're a stoolie. You're a stool pigeon. Yeah. And they tie him to a chair, and I guess off screen dunk him in the water and drown him, right? But then the cops just show up?
Did they?
Because I don't know.
Oh, okay. So the little kid does witness it.
Right.
He gets some information, writes it down. And I assume the little kid
just called it in. Okay.
And was like, someone's dead, come here.
But once again, we have to assume this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
But then, if this is the henchman's hideout, did nobody question them?
Right.
Like, they just show up to the warehouse.
Yeah.
That the body's there. I guess find the body. Wouldn't the first thing be like, we should talk to...
Let's look around the grounds. Like...
Yeah. Now, in the henchman's defense, they have a really good facade. It's a bunch of crates.
You have to walk through a crate to get into it.
Right,
yeah,
and then you're in the drug lab. Yeah. But also, like, if I was a police officer and I walked into this warehouse and was like, so what's going on here? You got like a sound booth.
Yeah.
you got
very concerned.
Got a tiki hut over here. And are you famous? Do you want to be famous? Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
It's definitely nighttime, and they take the kid back, and it seems like they're interrogating him for hours because the kid won't tell him information. He's like, quid pro quo. Well, now I can't say it.
Oh, yeah.
Quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo?
It keeps happening, and he's like, I want to get something out of it, too. And he's like, I want to be a cop. And it's just like this whole thing for a while. Eventually, the grandma comes in, and then Burt Reynolds is like, I've had it with this kid. I'm going to string him up, and I'm going to drag him along my car, and then I'm going to kill him. And I was like, don't really mention like anything remotely close to lynching around black people. It's like so wrong. That's so inappropriate.
Especially as a police officer.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you're like digging your own. No, I'm not going to say that. It's like, oh God. And then like the grandma standing behind him, and there's like, this is his grandma, and she's like, we're leaving, and I was like, oh God. But it does play out. The little kid gets to go on like a ride along with him for a day, and really nothing happens on that first ride along.
Well, that's the thing is that there are pretty much in this film, there's two, like, Nick and Devin, like, days, right? Before the two of them get split up, like, split apart. They, like, have a falling out, right? And I'm like, should I give a shit?
Yeah, I didn't really care either.
Yeah.
So then, like, what happens basically?
Okay, so in the ride along, there's a purse snatcher.
Oh, I was gonna skip over it because it's a stupid thing.
Well, I had a question because I had a note about it. Is that like, okay, so there's this purse snatcher that is like basically there's a guy with a purse that's running and trampling over people. Like he's running erratically, and then Devin's like, look, a purse snatcher, and like chases after them, and it's a whole on foot chase scene.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's a case of mistaken, like, not identity, but mistaken, like, crime.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you know, I had to get this purse to my wife before she got on the bus. And I'm like, what the fuck do you live in comparison to this bus stop?
Yeah, right?
Like,
True.
that was weird.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's the other thing where the person forgets there's a woman up on a windowsill. She's throwing plates down at this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because he forgot their anniversary. And Devin has a scene in which he, like, somehow gets into the apartment up above while Nick is trying to defuse the situation from below and talks her down, right? But I look at the casting is weird in this film.
Yeah.
Because you look at this guy and you're like, he looks like a more overweight George Costanza, who somehow has this amazingly gorgeous woman.
I can't remember this cartoon, but there's a cartoon with the guy that's like bald on top, and I'm pretty sure it's voiced by...
It's the critic. It's John Lovitz.
Okay, yeah.
It stunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like...
I hated it.
He was in Rat Race too, right?
John Lovitz?
I'm thinking of the guy from Rat Race.
Okay.
You know the dad that they're driving the they accidentally show up to the Jewish thing, but they accidentally are driving a Nazi car, but they're like the cigarette... I watched it a lot as a kid. I thought it was funny. But the cigarette lighter like flies in his mouth and he gets burnt. But then there's also like black lipstick on the steering wheel, so he hit it. And he's got like a Hitler mustache and he's like, like, and it just sounds really bad and it looks terrible.
I don't remember that person.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually someday, maybe.
Yeah, Rat Race. Yeah, probably.
It's a bad one.
Yeah. But no. He looks like this actor looks like Wayne Knight if like he lost all his hair.
Yeah. God, I love Wayne. I was watching that the other day. He was like,
I know you were.
Please!
It's every day.
Yeah. I've had it with this hacker bullshit. Coming up later this month.
What? Jurassic Park?
Hackers.
Oh, Hackers.
He goes, I've had it with this hacker bullshit.
We'll throw it back. I would love that.
Yeah.
If that was just in there.
Oh, yeah,
so
throw it back.
I just wanted to point out that there's like really strange casting choices, and you're just like, try.
Okay, yeah.
Just try a little bit, Winkler.
Yeah.
Like,
so then,
hey.
Yeah, basically the first day ends, and Devin is talking with his friend, and they're going to the store.
In which I wrote, never should anyone, especially a kid, have to say the line out loud, let's go grab a ding dong.
Yeah.
Yep, says it nonchalant.
So, yeah, they go, and then they see, like, the bad guys' cars, and they're like, oh, no. But then the bullies are also there. Which also, like, if you're a kid and you think, oh, it's cool to bully by smashing up someone's car.
This is what I wrote. I was
you're
like,
a fuck up.
Even, because basically...
Even the mob would take a gun to your head.
Devin recognizes the car.
I did like Devin's move, though, of it.
Yeah, he recognizes the car and is like, do what you want to me, but please don't hurt my grandma's car.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, okay, they're going to smash the grandma's car. But then I wrote down, I said, even if this was grandma's car, you'd go this far as a bully?
Right? Like, that's an offense. That is like, you go to juvie for that.
Yeah.
Which, also, if you do that to a mobster, you don't go to juvie for that.
No.
You sleep with the fishes.
Yeah.
That was me being a mobster.
Oh, yeah?
Not great. Gay mobster. Wait. Just do a little hand thing.
Hey, forget about it.
Okay, so listen, I was thinking today, we off this guy, and then Wine Wednesday? Yes, no, yes, no. Yes, it's a yes. Okay, settled. I'm going to get the wine.
You know the super wide ties? Let's just do away with those.
I like a slim... Actually, you know what? Bow ties. Bow ties, please. Oh my God. I love it. This is great. I love it. Maybe the whole thing. God, gay mob.
You came to me on the day of my boyfriend's wedding, and
I actually used to call the gay cliques in my college because it was like there were enough gay people that like there were gay cliques, and I called them the gay mobs and the gay mafias. And but the cool thing is I wasn't part of one. But I like knew all of them, and they knew like of me. So I was like the Lone Ranger of like, oh, that's Jarrett, like walking along on his own gay self, like, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm in this bar again, alone, dancing with no one.
I'm sorry, I had this whole image of. Have you seen the first Godfather?
Yeah, a long time ago.
You know the end montage. Spoiler alert out there, but you know the end montage where like basically he's having his child baptized, and while that's all happening, he's putting a hit on all the families that tried to kill his father.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like one guy is like in a barber chair and gets his throat slashed. Another one's like going in the spindle, like, you know, door, the revolving door.
Scorsese?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, no, it's Coppola. Sorry.
It's
yeah.
One of, those are the two that I'm always like, I don't know. They have really long, confusing movies.
Yeah, that's the point where somebody just turned us off if I didn't get that right.
They don't get back.
I mean, if they didn't see 3, I wouldn't have a problem. But
I can't even count that.
But
high.
no,
What
I just imagine you. And like, I don't know, you're somewhere else, but then you put a
I'm
hit.
in a gay club, like drinking something, and all the other gays
and
are
there's a guy like teaching Zumba, and like it just gets gunned down.
I would get him off. There are some days where I'm like, fuck you. He's a close friend, so we can get angry at each other, but god damn it, Zumba.
Just
he doesn't even listen. He supports us, but he doesn't listen.
No, I just Zumba was one of them, but like I had all these scenarios.
It was like a guy at musical practice and a piano wire snaps and slits his throat. Like, uh-oh. I like this. I love the game.
My fair lady.
Yeah. This is fun.
The gay mafia.
There's one like picking out something like in the wine section, like, ooh, and then a jumbo bottle just falls off the top shelf and takes him out.
What's a Trader Joe's?
Yeah. Someone's choked with like, I don't know, something gay.
It's fine.
A feather boa?
Yeah. No.
It's actually, it would literally, like, that whole scene would be happening, and I would be sitting alone in my home, drinking wine, listening to ABBA, petting my cat. And I'd be like, dancing queen. Or actually, it would be, does your mother know? And it'd be like, my family doesn't know my secret life. But, like, everyone's like, oh, your family doesn't know? And I'm like, oh, they know I'm gay, but they don't know, like, I run a mafia. Take it nice and slow. Does your mother know? Take it easy, take it easy. That's the best ABBA song, and if you disagree, I'll fight you on it.
There you go.
I'll put a head out.
So, cop and a half.
Back in yeah. So, the bullies smash up the car, and then the guys come out, and they're like, ah, what the fuck? And then they just, like, push the kids off, and then they're like, shit. And they leave.
And that's it. So,
then the kid goes back home, and the grandma's like, oh, where have you been? The new school counselor is here to talk to you. And it's
so this is where I had a question where I'm like, I guess Vinny is just bad guy famous? Like, bad guys know him, but, like, nobody else knows him? But then also, like...
I didn't think he was famous at all.
Why show your face at all?
Yeah. Well, because he wanted to know if the kid recognized him or not. Because, like, no one had come for him yet. So he's like, uh-oh. So he's like, I gotta go, like, take some checks, and if he does recognize me, I'll just kill a child and his grandma.
Yeah.
But, so then the little kid recognizes him by his shoes.
But also screams grandma, like, immediately as he shuts the door.
Yeah, like,
I'm like,
give
dude.
it a second, shithead.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But
then they go into, like, protective custody.
Okay, because this is the thing is, they've only had one interaction, him and Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, this escalated. Like, they should have had at least 2 days of ride along with, like, better hijinks than they did.
Yeah.
You know? And they just didn't. So there's no reason for Nick to care about this kid, really.
Yeah.
Like, he's already like, why the hell do I have to do this? Why me? And it's like, yeah, why him?
Yeah.
You know, like, they clearly didn't get along. Why would you go the
chief
extra
is like,
mile
you
now?
need it. I'm like, okay,
right?
Sure.
And then, but also, so now he's seeing the bad guy. Why not pull that book of mugshots back out?
Yeah.
Never happens.
No.
Right? Because if not, we wouldn't have the rest of this movie. Yeah. Right?
Burt Reynolds gets the kid to go to sleep by reading him baseball statistics, I guess.
Can we first, just because I need to, maybe you have a different perspective on it, the pissing scene?
Oh my God!
What
Burt
happened?
Reynolds exposed his penis to a child.
I think he actually did.
Yeah,
I was like, what do you think about that, kid?
In '93, he probably was like, I'll just pee on him. It's fine. I know what I act.
But, like, what happened there? Okay, because, like...
I looked away and looked back, and Burt Reynolds was peeing on an 8-year-old black kid, so...
Okay, so
That's
to
confusing
set up
enough
the
for
scene
me.
for anybody at home, the kid is brushing his teeth, and Burt Reynolds decides to just whip it out and stand up and piss next to him, right?
Because he's a man. Dicks don't matter. We all got them.
Right?
Is what I tell straight guys, and then they're like, you're right. And then I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter if I suck it either. That's a full-on lie. I've never sucked a straight man's dick.
Oh, okay. Is this a goal?
No, it's too much. I can't convert a straight guy.
Can't get him into the mafia?
No, because then, like, you suck it once, and then they're like, oh, wow, that's a lot better than my girlfriend. Like, you think you could do that again?
This is just a fantasy because you've never done this.
No, I've heard too many stories about it.
Okay.
Too many.
God damn.
Don't care about it.
They were gay all along then.
Yeah, exactly. And they had the thoughts and feelings for it.
Right?
They just didn't know it was an option because society told them it was an option.
Sure.
Basically.
Sure.
If you've got curiosity, who cares? We've all got it. Get on Grindr and just figure it out.
I'm always curious.
No.
No. That was a weird thing to, like, set up for. Sorry. No, I'm always curious as to, like, every week or so, like, I'll actually reach out to, like, with a post or something on, like, one of the group forums that our show, like, I advertise our show on, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
And then we do episodes like this where it's like hardcore gay, right? And the majority of these groups are like, just like straight male, like,
I know. We're like, this is my podcast about beer and cigarettes, and we sometimes talk about baseball.
And then you're like, sucking a straight dude's dick.
Yeah. There was one podcast that gave us a review, and I was like, you probably listened to our episode, and we're like, I don't know a gay man. I didn't know they could be on a podcast. I thought that was illegal.
They said fun things.
It was almost a year ago, so I think I can say at this point that
Sure.
they're not listening, and it was just a struggle listening to their podcast.
Yeah.
I was like,
I know the one you're talking about.
I was
Straight
like,
dudes with straight comedy.
yeah. It was okay, and this is the thing. If you don't know what straight comedy is,
Listen to me.
no, see, that's not the thing. But like, you've got like actual comedy. Straight
Well,
comedy
I have
is, like,
very self-depreciating, and that helps.
yeah, and that's fun. Straight comedy is basically like you say a joke, but then you say it 3 times over just to be like, haha, everyone heard it, right? You heard my joke. You heard my joke. Hear it again. And it's just kind of like, at that point, you're like beating me over the head with your comedy, and it's not funny anymore. It's just you wanting attention. It's just you thinking that you deserve attention, which is what most straight men, not like most, there's a good amount of straight men that think that they deserve more because society, of course, cares for straight men.
I mean, to be fair, like, that assessment is right. Like, the other night, not to go on another tangent.
Sorry, we're talking about
I know.
and a half, which is funny that we're here, but I do want to hear
No,
the story
but
too.
like the other night, I threw a joke out, right? That I knew one person had heard prior, right?
Yeah.
But then I wound up reusing it, right?
Hey, a good joke's a good joke.
Right. But then to the person that I knew had heard it now twice, I went, I'm sorry, I apologize, I will not use it a third tonight. Right? And that was it. But like the fact is, like, you're absolutely right. Like, there's this.
Well, see, like I tell stories.
Yes.
And so, like, I'll reuse my story jokes when I'm telling the story to someone new.
Well,
and
that's
it's like,
different.
well, you've already heard the story, so I'm just going to, like,
Hey, you over there, tune out.
yeah, cover your ears. You know the ending.
Right? Unless you think I might have written it better this time. then listen.
Right.
So
Cop and a half. One Jaws 4.
Well, you remembered.
Because I just don't care.
Right? I almost forgot about the rating system.
Yeah.
No, okay, back to the pissing scene. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. He whips it out in front of, like, the kid.
And the kid's, like, brushing his teeth.
The kid's like, oh my god, yes, swords. Let's play swords.
Is that
and
what
you're
he
like,
said?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that kid has had some child-on-child molestation.
Right? And he's like, no, I know my friend, like, Bobby, he does it. Like, and, like, he's got, like, a big one or something like that. And you compare, and Bert's like, we're not comparing. Like, he's straight up like, no.
I missed this entire scene.
Right?
I thought that he was talking about, like, how to do, like, a good cop thing.
I'm so upset that you missed it because I needed an explanation of right after this. The kid is talking, right?
Yeah.
And then there's just, like, this, like, and it's literally, like, the piss sound going into the bowl stops becoming a stream, and it's just like, blah, 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 right? And the kid's like, it looks up to Burt, and Burt's like sad, and the kid's like, sorry, right? It was mid whatever the kid was talking about, and I'm like, what happened?
Well, no, because he turned and distracted Burt, and then I thought it was because the Burt peed on the kid, and the kid was like, oh, sorry, I distracted you and you peed on your floor.
Yes,
Slash
right?
on me.
But I'm like, how did this happen? Because part of me was like, did he have like half-mast and then that went down and the aim went off? Like, what happened?
I hope he wasn't any sort of hard around a child.
Did he have some like dried up pre-cum on there, and it was like actually doing like a split stream, and then it finally made into one
acrobatic pee.
Damn, I'm glad somebody else knew that. Other people were like, I don't know what that is. Like, I made that joke one more.
That's a whole thing.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Someone didn't know what that is?
I think somebody's bullshitting me who was like, I'm embarrassed to talk about these kind of things.
That's like when guys are like, oh, I don't watch porn. And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, okay, yeah, you just fap thinking like, God, I love this girl. Like, shut up. Liar.
I love this one I saw on Tinder.
Yeah. I saw some boobs the other day in a magazine. They were really covered up, but let me tell you, they were nice. They were perky. I could imagine what the areola might look like, but you know, I didn't want to go that far. I didn't want to violate.
All right, guys, I think this is inappropriate. There's like 2 people that listen. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
God, but half is the best episode for me only.
Yeah. So then they're still trying to find this guy named Bobo, which doesn't make any sense. There's like the name they have is Bobo, and like something is like a drug.
Also,
drug
Bobo was also the name of the Wayne Knight character, by the way.
Yeah, and they didn't look into that at all, and I was like, they just glossed over that, and I was like, oh, shut up, whatever.
Yeah.
So then they go to a sketchy bar.
Okay, so
what happened?
No,
I don't know.
Not
what
yet.
Next.
Nope. So at this point,
they go to bed.
He reads them a story out of the newspaper about like the Baltimore Orioles, like, and that's the only reason I remember it, is because he said Baltimore Orioles. And he's literally reading him like a play-by-play of what happened at a game in the newspaper.
The kid falls asleep because it's so boring,
and
he's tired of the movie.
And we all were at this point.
Burt goes to bed. He's like,
yeah, and then like Burt hears something in the middle of the night. He's gun happy, I guess. And
he grabs his. I could understand where he is coming from.
Well, like the kid's already like on witness protection now.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, it's fully justified. But they turn the scene back on him, kind of making him feel bad. So basically, Burt's like going around the house in the dark, like trying to figure out who it is. He finally like comes face to face with the child, points the gun in the child's face. Right, so I was like, pull the trigger.
I know. Like, in the movie.
Could you imagine the end of that movie?
Yeah, that would be better. Well, I mean, we're living.
It's just called Cop.
No, I was like, I was like, there's a lot of names that we could call it. It is just called Present Day. It's called. I hate cop. I'm not finishing that statement.
Yeah.
Cops do good things. Cops are good people, but there are some that give them all bad names.
Mm-hmm.
Do some better to make up for those. That's all I'll say. Also, don't defend them.
Cop and an alibi.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
he reached for the gun.
Yeah. What gun? The one right here.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, he points a gun in the kid's face. The kid had like an entire
full
carafe of milk.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there, but drops on the ground, and then he's like, I was just thirsty for some milk. And like, this is where Burt Reynolds just like is super sweaty too. So it's like, it just seems
Reynolds had some sort of sweat issue, I swear. He either loved
this
to
is
do
what
it
happens
or couldn't control it.
when you're in Tampa filming as well. What probably was summer.
Yeah.
But this is the part where I'm like, no, pull that trigger. Like, fuck this kid. Like, this kid is blackmailing you.
Yeah.
You know, for like all this, and now you're in way too over both of your heads.
Yeah.
And now I'm supposed to feel sorry that he like was actually a good policeman and was trying to protect them. No, not at all.
He's manipulative. I didn't like it.
Yeah, he's like a less endearing Macaulay Culkin, who was offered this role, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's just a less endearing Kevin McAllister without the pranks or tricks or anything. Yeah. He's got that tongue to him, but nothing else about him is likable. Yeah. Which nothing's likable to me. I hate Kevin McAllister too. Oh yeah, I'm like, you ungrateful piece of shit. Go up to that attic.
Parents disappear.
Right? I hate him.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. That's my favorite line.
Like, and I can't tell. Like, let's save this for Christmas, but I will let's put a pin in it. But I would love to have a debate.
It's not bad.
Huh? No, it's not bad. But I would love to have a debate on like literally how much of a piece of shit Kevin McAllister is. And then in return though, how much of a piece of shit, like, not as much his mom, but his dad. His dad is a horrible person.
Oh, that entire family is
they're worse.
Garbage family.
Yeah. Even the mom
Look
is
what you did, you little jerk. And it's like, it's a child. Go easy.
Yeah. God. Yeah, but no, the dad is
As we just said, pull the trigger on this fucking kid.
Yeah. So,
God,
but you know what? This would have actually been a decent movie if the kid was given
a decent ending if he got shot in the face.
Well, yeah. But no, this would have been a decent movie if the kid was given maybe some Home Alone style antics to do to the criminals. Like, I don't know. The criminals are just, I mean, I feel like
the wet bandits.
Worse. The wet bandits seemed like intelligent, but just kept running into like bullshit. Yeah. You know?
Just a shitty child.
Yeah. So.
No, the wet bandits actually were really bad at being bandits.
One of them.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's pretty damn good. He just like, he was held back.
Yeah.
By like, you could have picked a lot of other criminals. Huh?
What?
What?
I didn't say it.
Well, but which one?
I don't know. At this point, I really don't know.
You or me. Oh, that's shit.
It's me. It's fine.
We need a third so we can blame it on them.
Too late. Oh, we already pulled that card.
Right?
Yeah, okay. So then, yes, Devin gets... Oh, Devin even rhymes with Kevin. That's bad. Okay. So
right?
Devin gets placed with the goofy dad cop. He's like, oh, he's got kids. He can take care of him. And they're... Right? Isn't that next?
No, you're right on.
You look so confused.
No, because I'm following my notes.
Okay.
Because this is where I wrote, why should I care about Devin and Nick being split up? Their relationship is surface level at best.
Oh, they have zero relationship. It's not anything.
Right.
So, yeah, so they're doing like speed radar on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is where he tells him about him having a partner 8 years ago that died.
And Devin's like, cool, that guy was going pretty fast. He was going 38 and a 35.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop's like, all right, pull him over. And it just so happens to be, but also like, you can get like 5 minutes above the speed limit and it's fine.
This is the part where I wrote, we no longer live in a world of reality in this film.
Yeah.
Like, it was okay for him to be on a ride along.
Yeah.
Right? But now we live in a world which we pull over a car and then allow an 8-year-old kid to approach a vehicle unidentified.
Yeah.
And proceed to go through the entire traffic stop with just a guy like off in the distance and being like, you got this.
And it's his principle that earlier was like, if I don't discipline you, you won't learn, basically.
But he's also not wrong.
Yeah, I know. He's not wrong at all.
Right? Like, the principal's actually not a bad dude. Like, he just kind of got it wrong in their first scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They make the principal. It would be one thing if the principal was like, I don't know, Gilbert Gottfried from Problem Child, not Parent Trap.
You said Parent Child.
Parent Child.
From Parent Child.
Well, you ever seen Parent Child?
It's called Big.
It's called all of 90s. Oh. It's Parent Child.
We went for two different things.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, Big.
Yeah, but there's no.
Because he's
not
older.
a parent.
I know, but that's the thing. I don't care.
Parent Child.
Just like this movie.
Hey, I'm Parent Child. I slept. Well, no, wait. He does indeed, in Big, sleep with an adult woman. So, if she then got pregnant, Big 2, Parent Child.
That's an insanely fucked up movie.
It is.
I don't like that.
But she.
But she also was a kid that turned into an adult, and that's why they connected so well.
Can we just go on fucked up scenarios for a show or two?
Yeah.
Like, because that's another one where it's like she eventually does know that he's a child. I want to know what her psyche is for the rest of her life.
She's a Chester child molester.
She's like, I can't work for this toy company anymore.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know about children.
Oh God, Ryan Murphy, hire me.
Yeah,
because that's her, by the way.
Wait,
isn't that Sarah Paulson?
Oh, I didn't think so, but I
thought
know.
so.
I don't know.
I don't know. Who cares?
I haven't seen Big in decades.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't seen Big or anything Ryan Murphy's done in years. I might be wrong. Actually.
So. Yeah, just put that little asterisk note in there.
Yeah,
I might be wrong. Don't kill me. Yeah, so
nobody
they pull it over
to us anyway.
Yeah, I know. No one cares. Just void yelling.
Actually, somebody made a correction the other day. I just can't remember it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
great. Thanks. Yeah. So he does the whole thing with the principal and then sends him on his way. And as he's walking back, miraculously, Burt is Burt is driving over a bridge near them and sees him and is like, oh, look,
here it is again. This is another thing where I'm like, was this movie a victim of editing? Like, Burt is just there on an overpass being like, look out, kid! Yeah. And you're like, where did you come from?
It's like the henchman trying to run him over. Burt slides down a hill and creates sparks with his heels, which I was like,
full on sparks with his cowboy boots. Right?
Grabs the kid, they fly off the side of the road.
It's also cowboy boots in jeans.
Yeah.
Like that thing.
Snake cowboy boots.
It's like red shirt, whether it be t-shirt or button-up shirt, and jeans and cowboy boots. It's like, we've seen this a million times, actually. Yeah. Like, it's a weird, you're like,
tired.
Why is
this
that
movie
the
is
thing?
Tired.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like him.
Yeah. Saves the kid, and then they're like, we gotta catch these people.
What is your theory? Because if indeed this was supposed to be edited that way, was he following the kid in order to get,
I think so.
Basically just catch the guys in the act of trying to
I think he was
just
following the kid because he's like, well, I got to still make sure he's okay because I told his grandma I would.
I don't know.
I don't either.
But it's just there. There's not even a cutaway right prior to being like he's in a bush watching, like, what?
So inappropriate. There's just, you don't put children and adults together.
No, you never do.
It seems very scary.
Right?
Unless they're related.
Well, no, to be fair, Kindergarten Cop's an amazing, funny movie. Yeah. So I don't know how 3 years later we could get it so wrong.
It is not a tumor.
It's such a great movie.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't even remember Kindergarten Cop, but I remember it's not a tumor.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Remember when he was pregnant?
Yeah, it's Junior. Yeah, we'll do it one day.
Oh.
I promise you.
Oh, that's a cute one.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm like, I don't know. There's a bar fight scene because they're trying to find someone named Bobo, but then
so the kid
really doesn't matter.
So let's run that down real quick, just for fun, because I don't understand where they got the Bobo information for them to be like, yep, time to go to this bar.
The kid overheard the word Bobo, and for some reason, Burt Reynolds is like, this bar has a lot of sketchy people. Probably Bobo's here.
I mean, there's a guy that is nerdy that rides up in a motorcycle, and all the other motorcycle people are like, fuck you, nerd! And just throw him off his own bike.
And he's like, I thought it was a leather bar! And he he gets murdered, I think.
I don't know.
Which is why that's why I never leave my house, because I'm like, I don't know, I'll probably get murdered at Target.
True.
Because they'll be like, a gay man at Target, no.
At Target?
Yeah.
Why do you think, is Target the white people?
Target's the only place I go to alone.
The white straight people thing?
I don't
And you're
know.
afraid that you're going to get jumped? Like, what is
Anything
going
can
on
happen these
there?
days.
Why Target?
Because Target's the only place I know, so it's the only place I can remember.
That bikers would be
I know
at.
Target's, Ralph's, Mother's Markets, and there's a different grocery store that's like called Nature.
Uh-huh.
Nature. Organic. Basically, though...
Was that like Orchard, like Home Depot?
No, I'm thinking of Sprouts.
Oh, Nature.
It loves things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's where the mob would murder. Not as much Trader Joe's as it is Sprouts. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so there's like a whole bar fight,
Some
like
vegan
trying
bar.
to find Bobo, and then kid saves the
Okay,
day by going out
so
to the cop car.
Things that I needed to lay out in this scene. One, there's a kid allowed in the bar without very little question.
He hands him money.
Right? But no, just like allowed in the bar, right? Two, when Nick is faced with a full-on like bar fight,
He takes out like 8 people on his own.
but I also don't understand, because this is another trope in these movies, is like, you're a cop, pull out your gun and end this fight.
Yeah. Also, I don't understand, like, there's 8 people around you trying to fight you, but each one is going like, hold on, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Like, no, punch him in the back of the head while he's fighting with
It's
Eric.
called choreography, Jarrett.
Well,
Yeah,
that
because
did
one
not look
person's
like a
like,
fun dance
hold
to me."
on, I've got the bottle of sugar glass, I'm going to break it over his skull.
Yeah, and a girl randomly breaks it over his head, and then he's
Don't even know why these people get involved.
Yeah, Devin's like, you can't hit a girl, and he just picks the lady up and throws her like through the bar, and he's like, I didn't hit her, and I was like, I kind of love that.
Right.
I was like, that's good.
That is a true Burt Reynolds style line, by the way. Like, that's like where you're like, you're still a man's man, but like, you know, you're able to do it in such a way like that. But this is also, this is the second time. There's another time I can't recall earlier in the film where like somebody is tricked by the kid pretending to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Oh, the one time is like they're just letting him take phone calls at the police station. And one, I didn't know 911 dialed directly to like individual detectives.
They were
right?
like, who needs dispatch? Not us.
And he's like, by the way, this isn't small town, guys. This is Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, hey, how can I help you? Oh, your cat's stuck in a tree? Like, blah, blah, right? And I'm like, that's not a thing. But then also, all these bikers are fooled. Like, Devin goes outside, gets on the police, like, megaphone. And it's like, we've got the place surrounded.
The SWAT team is here. We got the place surrounded.
And somehow the entire bar is like, let's get out of here. I'd
And
be
when
like,
they go outside, they're like, no one's there, but they're all still running away. And it's like, what the?
yeah. But then also, I'd be like, who the fuck is the kid on the megaphone? Like, it's still a kid it's not like he does a voice change thing. If you heard it, what would you do?
I'd be like,
keep fighting?
I'd poke my head out the door and be like, no one's here.
I need to call the real police because somebody's impersonating a police officer.
Yeah. So bar fight ends, and then I guess they go home.
They go home, and then
Go to sleep.
another night, and then when he wakes up, Devin is gone.
And the front door's open.
Yeah, and it turns out Devin went to actually go get donuts and surprise Nick. But
I hated this scene.
Okay, all right.
What kind of bottled up shit does this kid have going on that
okay.
he's projecting onto everyone else?
I wrote, because I wrote in quotes, here's the quote. He goes, "You call this being a father?" And like, even Burt Reynolds is like, "The fuck, father?" Like,
Yeah.
and like
Bert's like,
but I did it
never
too.
come inside. Like,
I've slept with all of Hollywood,
Yeah.
and I know I don't have any children.
I know where my nut has been.
Down to historically speaking, my one and only son is adopted.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But but this is weird because even in this moment, I'm taken aback because this is an hour 10 into an hour 37 film.
Yeah.
Right. And I go, what the fuck?
The kid has like never mentioned his dad
Never,
or his parents.
Ever. Not even like I miss mom and dad, or like dad, or not even the grandma's been like, your dad shouldn't have left us.
Or like, when my dad was alive, he reminded me of you, like anything like that. Yeah. And it's been like 3 days together, so it's not like Burt was like, by the way, adopting you would be pretty swell.
Just
like,
I know, right? I thought we were gonna go for I thought we were gonna swing for the fences.
Yeah.
And here comes a baseball pun, and go for Angels in the Outfield,
yeah, right?
where Danny Glover just adopts 2 kids by the end of the film. Like I thought this is where we were leading to.
Yeah.
I was like, are we gonna? But then it kind of does by the end anyway. They're like a family,
right? I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so then Devin crosses the street, and we get the classic magician
Jeez.
bus edit where a bus crosses in front of him and he's just gone.
And the bus doesn't even like stop to where it's like, maybe he jumped on. It's just like, and then the kid's gone.
I like to always imagine that the person that disappears is actually running alongside the bus that just came.
I thought that Devin just like went to the store behind him and like hid around a corner, like, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't even bother to look. I would at least be like, all right, come on out, kid. Right?
Like, he could not have gotten far.
Come on, you're not Michelle Williams at Final Destination.
Yeah.
You didn't get hit.
Yeah. You can just...
So then Devin goes back to the school, and he's being followed by the henchmen. And the henchmen, this is where we mentioned that they're just running and chasing him around, and this is like a classic, like, kids against adults, like, trope, where it's like, we all tricked you, yay!
Yeah,
we're
and
gonna
they're all
throw
like,
food at you.
Because Devin stands up to the bullies.
What kid is still watching this?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Devin stands up to the bullies, and then like the kids are all behind Devin now instead of making fun of Devin, and then like the bad guys like, everyone sit down,
but
and all the
only
kids
like
sit down
one
for some reason.
But only one other kid other than the bullies even remotely made fun of Devin, and it was already when he was like soaking wet.
Yeah,
the little ginger kid.
I hated him.
Yeah.
So then, all the kids are like, they're like, "Where's Devin?" And he's like, "I'm Devin. I'm Devin."
This is where there's one other little black kid that Devin, I guess, switched clothes with. Yeah, the kind of racist part where Devin switched clothes with this other kid, and I feel like they would have. I'm sorry, they would have grabbed this kid and been like, "We got him."
Yeah,
that's it.
Right. So then, the bad guys get into their car. They're like, we just got to get out of here. These kids are mean. And then as they're driving off, you hear a walkie-talkie like, "Hey, Devin, are you all right in the back of that car? Do you need any, like, help? Should we tell someone that you got in a car that you didn't know about?" And Devin's like, "Hey, maybe don't talk to me."
Wait, why does he even respond? Just turn it off.
I know. He responds to it, and he's like, "Not a good time." And then the bad guys, like, grab him and pull him up to the front seat. And if I was a bad guy at that point, I would have just been like, poof, poof. That's me slamming his head into the dashboard. Poof, poof. Like, I would have lost my shit. Also, those people have murdered people. I don't think they have a whole, like, I shouldn't hit a child. I think they're like, fuck, we got the problem. Let's get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
Why take the problem along with you?
Because I feel like even in real scenarios, I'm actually going to defend this. I think in real scenarios, you have to get your boss's approval before you become that much of a monster.
Yeah, no, I get that. But still, like, the boss,
The boss is like, kill the child!
So now I also have a huge issue. So Burt's still looking for the kid. The kid gets to this wharf, right?
Sure.
So
the docks.
Yeah. The docks.
Yeah.
A wharf.
We'll
see.
A wharf is like for fish.
Okay, cool. There are fish at this docks.
Yeah.
We find that out at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's all fine.
Yeah. So the kid, like, I don't know what just happened there.
I almost did something, but I was like, that's way too inside of a joke.
So,
I almost called the wharf the Disneyland parking lot.
Oh, true. So, yeah. Okay.
There it is.
It took a few secs. That was don't shorten the word seconds. Yes. So the kid gets like, they're like, this kid sucks. And so they put him in an office. Why would you put a child in an office with a telephone?
This is the Tiki office.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't check? Nothing?
You didn't think ahead?
Yeah.
So the kid calls the cops and are like, hey, whoops. But then Burt Reynolds is just driving around and sees a bus and is like, oh my God, and then just turns around.
Oh, you don't understand why?
No.
Okay, so I got this.
Okay.
When he witnessed the murder, they're also making a conversation about like where the drug delivery was going to be, and he heard the phrase 100 grand, right?
I still thought that was money.
No, the address of the dock is 100 Grand Street, and so Burt Reynolds driving past a bus, the bus on top of its little LED sign on the front says Grand Street. And that's what makes him go like, oh shit, and turn around.
But then he also runs into Bobo along the way. On his motorcycle.
This movie is also
convenient.
Extreme, because this is where we get to the boat chase too, like, which is extremely convenient. That entire thing. Okay, so yes.
Take us home.
They take Devin and they're like, we're just gonna do him and we're gonna kill him right now, right? And so while that's happening, Burt Reynolds got Bobo, which Bobo we didn't really cover, giant muscle-bound guy from the bar fight, right? But
he actually doesn't play out to be anything, so.
No, whatever. Because I guess Burt Reynolds just ran him over with his car and stole his motorcycle and his clothes, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a muscly, naked man in the middle of
Oh, that's
Florida.
right. He is like in a leopard print thong. Yeah. But, yeah, Burt Reynolds drives up and, like, that's another thing where they're like, oh, it's Bobo, just because it's a guy on a motorcycle with a leather jacket.
Helmet, you like clearly hear Burt Reynolds be like, "Take care, kid. I got this." Like,
yeah, I'm Bobo. Yeah,
gosh.
Like you ever remember Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds?
No.
Like, oh, it's so good. Like it's one of the best impressions. Yeah, I'm Bobo. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. No, I changed my name. Now it's Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, it was on Celebrity Jeopardy that
I
they
remember
used to
Turd
do.
Ferguson.
Yeah, Turd Ferguson, and he's like, I'm wearing this gigantic cowboy hat now, this foam cowboy hat. And he's like, yeah, it's funny. He's like, no, it is not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, Lord.
So, but that's what he's doing, like under the helmet. Yeah, I'm Bobo now. Yeah, that's what that's who I am. Right? And so then this callback from a not funny joke the first time of like, hey, what comes after L? And the henchmen are like, A, B, C. And he's like, yeah, it's Bo. Just like, and then the kid elbows the henchman, right?
I was wondering what that joke was because I completely missed it. And I was like, I thought JKLM. Yeah, and I like second guessed my knowledge of the alphabet, and I was like, I still don't get it. And then it turns out I missed the word bow.
You missed it the first time it came around. It came around like I think in the apartment when they dropped him off, which was way late in the relationship too.
Yeah,
you would think it would have to come back. For it to come around on the henchman, usually that joke has to play out twice before. Yeah. Right? That's usually the cardinal rule. You go 1, 2, and then you turn it around somewhere in the third. Yeah. Right? Nope.
Jeez.
So now it's Devin and Nick on a bike, and they're trying to escape, and they're being chased by the henchmen, and Nick gets shot in the shoulder, so he has like no use of his his main arm. And then they wind up crashing into this pile of like sandbags or whatever. And then they wind up like right there at that pile of sandbags. There's not one, but 2 speedboats ready to go, right? They jump
there were
in.
3.
Wait for it. This is that part of convenience where they jump into into one speedboat and take off. The camera switches over. Now there's, Vinnie, the main bad guy. He's already in a boat. Right? And he's like, hey, look, they're in a boat. Let's go. And you're like, did you just set up the climax by just being like, oh, he's just in his own boat, right? And then they pull away and they're being chased by Vinny. But then the bad guys that were chasing them in a car then get into said third boat that was side by side with Nick's boat.
But that boat stalls. I don't know. It can't
No,
turn.
that boat, I don't know why it can't turn or whatever, but like one guy flips overboard while the other guy who was trying to, I guess, like be like, I'll get on the tip and then jump onto the other boat. then I guess falls over and is like just riding the tip, and that boat just goes off into the sunset.
Which that's like our post credit is him just riding the edge of the boat like, and that's it. Like,
yeah.
God, just jump off the side.
Yeah, but also just it's not that funny.
Yeah,
you know. And then
that guy had such an ugly perm.
Oh yeah, that guy is.
That guy was unfortunate.
Yeah, I forget what he's from, but like I've seen him in other things too. I think that was it. But either way, so then main bad guy Vinnie, right, is chasing them, and then like I don't know, for some reason they get stuck in like kind of a dead end of the docks. And he's like, there's only one way. You gotta, like, slide up, like, you gotta go fast enough to slide up these pipes, right? Which I swear to you, I think are the same double pipes that, like, Nick Cage and John Travolta slide up in the end jet boat scene of Face Off.
God, I hope I have enough wind.
Sailboat. God, no. Wind. Ain't it cool?
Oh, yeah.
That was both. I got it. But yeah, I swear to you, this is why I think it wasn't filmed in Tampa at all. I think it was L.A.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that I don't think Burt Reynolds, for the money in this, that was probably offered to him.
I could have sworn that it was Long Beach at a few points.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think it was. I really think it
yeah.
was. And so they slide up these like two pipes that are like going into the water and onto the dock, and they crash. And then for some reason, the bad guy has to do it too.
To like catch them, I guess. But their boat like goes up the pipes a little bit different and lands in like
a dumpster.
Yeah, a dumpster trailer, and then that slides into a building, and then they're like underneath a pipe, and somehow that pipe has a trigger that like the kid is already at.
Like all the fish guts and waste
and
of
it
the
empties
dock.
on the kid, and it's like, or it empties on the guy, and he's like, I hate bad hygiene.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the movie?
That's the movie. Yeah, there's only one scene after that where, like, basically Devin and Burt Reynolds are rowing a boat with Grandma, like, being like, I love, summers or weekends or something? And you're like, what? That wasn't a reference to anything.
Yeah.
Then we flip over to that guy who's still, like, sailing into the sunset. End movie? Extremely anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And forgettable. I don't recommend this movie.
I don't either.
I don't, like, it's
There's
unfortunate
no good
because
way
part of
to
me,
watch it.
I've never seen Striptease and I wish we kind of did Striptease instead now.
Now in the future, we've got another one.
Sure. I mean, it's like, it's like Striptease and Showgirls are like, Showgirls for sure, people have been like, do it live. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm in for. I've never seen it. Like,
same.
iconically, it's supposed to be like one of the worst movies of all time, like Room status. And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this.
I wouldn't either.
I skip it all, right? And then, honestly, Jaws 4.
Yeah, it's not
Jaws
great.
the Revenge.
Yeah.
Like, it is not good. It's not fun. Like you said, Burt Reynolds is literally just walking through it for a paycheck.
It's all lazy.
Yeah. And you would really hope that, I don't know, there'd be somebody else in this film of any sort of star status that could help and be a character actor or save this film from monotony and boredom.
Well, I did really like Holland Taylor on it. She's good, but she's good in everything.
Yeah, but she also has really nothing to do.
She has a very small role, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, part of me was like, well, Henry Winkler, why didn't you just put yourself in the film? Like, you could have been the captain. That's how, like, forgettable any of these roles are. Like, we didn't even mention, like I said, we mentioned for a brief second, his detective friend who, like, is pointless.
Yeah.
Like, nothing makes any sense. Well, things make sense, but they just, like, they don't play out to any sort of...
Nothing means anything.
No.
Meaningless.
The world is a lie.
The world is a cold, dead expanse.
Yep. Just like Jaws' Revenge. So, yep, that's about it for us, and this is how we felt about it. But some people had a different opinion altogether, and we asked that they go ahead and give me 5. So, we only found 2, but I don't know.
There were more, but these are pretty.
These
okay.
are really
I
good.
like 'em.
Okay. The first one is written by Vincent Cadena, November of 2007, titled A Funny Kids Movie. Just have fun. This isn't a great movie. In fact, it's a pretty bad movie. But if you're a kid or want to laugh, you might like this. Too many times do you see, time and time again, people rating or criticizing movies that aren't worth their time. The reason I gave this a 10 was to give it a small boost. This was a sympathy 10?
It's a pity. I love pity.
I remember this when this movie came out. I was 10, and I didn't want to see it, to be honest. I didn't want to see it. To be honest, with the poster, it kind of freaked me out. When it came out on video, I saw it. Basically, what you get is an unrealistic movie about a kid and a detective, Reynolds. It's still silly, stupid, and poorly made, but that shouldn't stop you from having a good time. If you're a kid,
No, it should.
someone that has low
It
standards, or a stoner, you'll probably have a good time.
Trust
mean-
me, stoners don't have a good time with this film. I know.
I mean, you could have a good time just making fun of this movie. We did.
Yeah.
If you're a conservative, a teenager, a person that has high standards, or a racist, you probably won't like this. 10 stars. Wait.
They were like, there's a black person, so if you're racist, you'll hate it.
Because there's only one semi-racist thing that I said, and
Yeah.
that's only if it played out like it should have.
Yeah.
God.
God.
So basically, if you're anybody, like, who is this person then?
I
so
know.
He says if you're conservative, so he's liberal? He is not speaking for all of us.
Yeah.
A teenager, so he's saying, like, teens will hate it because they hate everything.
Yeah.
Right? A person that has high standards, as you should in the world.
I have high standards. That's why I'm so single.
Or a racist.
Also because of my deadly terrible looks.
Going for that Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh, yeah.
Next one, written by 02109057.
Numbers, man.
I just want to make sure he got credit. October 2004, titled, This Film is the Nuts. This film is the nuts. I can't believe it gets such a bad rating on IMDb. What people must remember is that this film is for kids, and when I was a kid and first saw this, I couldn't get enough of it. I mean, a small kid going around in a police car chasing bad guys, how cool would that be? It would be, but that's not what happened at all in this film.
He gave a speeding ticket for someone that did not deserve a
And
speeding
he wasn't in a
ticket.
police car for that. I watched it again recently, and it's still great. Especially when the kid does his teacher for speech.
That's literally what it says.
Especially when the kid does his teacher for speeding and tells him if he doesn't give him a ticket, he would be doing a great injustice. It's no Kindergarten Cop, admittedly, but it's still one hell of a film. 5 stars.
Lord.
So, haven't you always wanted to do your teacher?
I know. And then give him a ticket.
Yeah, afterwards.
Well, there have been a few handsome teachers in my day.
Well, that just about does it for us, folks.
Yeah.
Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Really look forward to that. Thank you for that as well. Make sure you follow us, all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Bombs Away Show. You can write to us personally if you think that we forgot anything. I think we were pretty damn thorough in this one. But, what?
No.
I mean, with other aspects of our life. It's, you're like, no, I could go on.
Yeah.
But either way, if you think that we missed something on this or on a previous episode and you're like finally gaining the courage to write to us and tell us that we were wrong, go ahead and tell us.
Yeah.
Write to us. Email contact@bombsawayshow. Make sure you stay tuned. I know Jared's looking forward to this one. Next week, 1999's Inspector Gadget.
Yes. Do. Inspector Gadget. Do.
I feel like
Do.
that song's like if I can remember correctly, I don't think that song's until the end credits.
That's okay.
Yeah, but also it's like, you know, where you're like...
Should have used that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think it's one of those...
And at the start, it'll be something like... Do, 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 do,
brr, 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 establishing bad guy scene.
Yeah.
No, like I have a feeling... All I know about that film, to me, is I remember where you're like... Is it really the first movie and we're already having Inspector Gadget fight a clone of himself? That's all I remember about this film.
Yeah,
remember
weird.
Some like bad guy
Yeah.
and he just had like weird teeth.
That's me. Stop. God.
Nah. So look out for that, and then we'll finish the month out with Hackers, and then I think I could say it. Yeah, next month, Slumber Party Massacre 3, finishing up the trilogy. Finishing up the trilogy. We're going to have Abby back on the show for that.
I don't want to do it because I want to like always have the potential of it in my heart.
Aw. Well, you still have potentials on other things like 50 Shades for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's coming up. And then also 976 Evil 2, The Astral Factor.
The ass factor.
Right? We get real gay this time.
Like we didn't today.
Yeah. So that's just a small tease of what's coming up in the month long of October. It's
How was my nickname in college?
Slight tease. Small tease.
Yeah.
Small tease Falcon.
Yeah, no, it's just because I wore t-shirts that were too small.
Oh, okay. I got it. And then still can't announce it's not locked in yet, but I swear to you, it's probably like, I don't know. I think it might be better in Miami Connection, but our live show, like once I announce it, I'm excited.
He's not.
I totally am. That just about does it for us for real. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
And
I'm Devin Butler. Hey, this is Jarrett with the Bombs Away podcast, and we're here in the Frida Cinema recording our podcast. So the Frida Cinema is a program of the Long Beach Cinematique, and it's located here in Santa Ana in Southern California. It serves the neighboring communities, and it is a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to enriching, connecting, and educating communities through the art of cinema. It's here to entertain, and that's why the entertainment industry exists. So what they show on these screens is pretty amazing. They have things such as the Director's Series, and it features directors such as Martin Scorsese, Mel Brooks, and Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman, if you didn't know, did The Toxic Avengers and The Class of Nukem High. They also have something called Friday Night Freakouts, and this is presented by OC Weekly. It has films that are among the horror or sci-fi kind of genre. They've done films such as Lost Boys, Hackers, and The Room. They've also featured anime like Your Name and Akira. Some other things they do are double features. They've done things such as Hot Fuzz mixed with Shaun of the Dead, which is actually two pretty good films. They also show a lot of cool things among the lines of indie films. They have The Void, which is currently on Netflix, and they also have had Academy Award-winning films such as Best Film winner Moonlight, which I think is pretty awesome that it showed in this space before it actually went up. If you want more information about showtimes, location, and everything film and entertainment related to the Frida Cinema, you can go to www.thefridacinema.org. You can also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema and on Instagram and Twitter at thefridacinema. The Frida Cinema, for filmmakers, for film goers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?